Hey, so this is a Mastermind PBC. It's by RJM Music, and so what this is kind of like a brain to talk to and control everything on your pedal board or close to everything. And so the way I thought I would spend time with it is just since I use it, I will just go through what I use it for, and then or how I use it, I guess, and then you can see most of what it does. But so just a other quick overview, you've got 10 loops back here that you can put, up to 10 different pedals in. Four of them are stereo capable loops. And then you got a couple other like functions and inputs and outputs, and it controls MIDI. And anyway, so you can set up presets, and the presets can control any combination of the loops and MIDI and whatever. And so there's lots of controllers that do that. But what's cool about this one is that this one's controlled by, this itself can be customized by a computer program. And in that, or on the unit itself, you can customize what every switch does, what color the LED is when it's on and when it's off, all this stuff. And so it's really like the sky's almost the limit as far as like what you can dream up for the thing to do. And you can pretty much do it. Like there's some limitations here and there, but for the most part, like by and large, you can do anything that you dream up to do with it. And so that's obviously really cool. It connects via USB to your computer. This little plug back here is the little USB situation. And hopefully you can read the screen and whatever. But that's how you connect to it. And then it has MIDI in and out and all that stuff. Has a tuner built into it if you want that. I'm sure I'm missing some features. But anyway, you can go stereo out, that sort of thing. So there's a bunch of different ways to use this. And what I'm going to show you is just what works for me so far in my experience with it. I've had it, I don't know exactly. We'll say like 6 months or something like that. Not long enough to be a total pro at everything, but long enough to know kind of how I want it to function live when I'm using it and what sort of the rhythms I've gotten into as far as programming it and whatever. So anyway, so this first page, so basically all these buttons, there are 6, 7, 8, 11 buttons, and there's pages. And so on every page, those buttons can all perform different functions. And the first page, I think it always is, you might be able to change it, is like the presets page. And so this whole bottom row on mine is set up to be presets. And so when inside the computer program, you can program a preset, and then you can choose presets to be part of a certain song. So let's say you have a song and you want 3 presets in it. You can tell it which presets you want in that song. Then you can load songs into a set list. And so if you have different events or whatever, then the set list can change and can be loaded with different songs, and you can navigate set lists and songs and everything. And you can do that all with the unit self-contained. So what a lot of people recommend is one of these things, just a little external controller, just to give you 2 extra buttons to use so that you don't have to program some of these buttons to navigate up and down songs in your set list. So a lot of times people will use this to navigate that instead. And that's pretty much what I use that for. And we'll get into that in a second, but let me see if there was something else I was wanting to get into about that. So anyway, it's really helpful. Once you've programmed your presets for a song, then it's just a matter of throwing songs in a set list, which takes like 2 seconds. And so there's a lot of programming work on the front end. I can see that this will not be 5 minutes, but alas, it is what it is. So again, here's the first page, which is presets. And so the bottom row here, white is indicating which preset is active. So for this particular song, I have a main sound I use for most of the song, and then a specific sound I use for one of the verses. And so I can move back and forth between those, and it'll change all the pedals on my board at will. So this one is basically just changing a drive setting between these two. It actually changed a delay patch as well to a different one from I think it's a dotted here, and it's an 1/8 note delay here. So that's what that looks like. This switch on this page just moves up and down through my set list. And so I have 3 songs in my set list. The first song, like I said, has 2 presets to it. My second song has 5 different presets in it. The third song has 3. And so this goes in and out of the songs, and then I can choose one and set it. The way I label my songs is I've been putting the BPM inside parentheses there. I actually am having this unit send clock for each song, MIDI clock, for any other things. I actually don't really use that for the delay most of the time. 99% of the time I pre-program the delay. But when you have it send clock, that when you change presets, it will actually display the BPM of the song you've just changed to briefly. So I actually will probably change this parenthesis thing because I don't actually need to see it, because I can see it just when I change presets, what BPM I'm at, if I ever need that information for some reason. So anyway, that's that. And then the rest of my buttons on this first page, this first button here, this red one, is it calls a specific preset on my reverb that I just want it to do. And so all it changes, it leaves everything else the same about the preset I'm on, but this just changes onto a specific reverb and then off of it. And then I have a hold function that will do like a freeze on my reverb also. So that's neat. And then I think that's it. Yeah. This second one is a preset for a swell sound. I'll use volume swells a good bit, and I have a specific group of sounds that I want for that. And so that is accessible at all times, regardless of the other presets. That just turns that on, and then I can move back to another preset if I want to after that. This one is a drone preset. I'll use drones a lot of times, so it'll call up, again, it'll only change the reverb to a 100% wet kind of sound. And then I can go, I can turn that off and it'll go back to whatever it was on before. And then this one is like, functions like a tuner. Like I said, there's a tuner built in to the thing, to the Mastermind. I'm partial to this one, my little mini turbo tuner up there. I really like that, and so I want to use it. And so I use that as one of my loops, and it's actually a little bit ghetto the way that I do it, but I only have, I put it in one of my stereo loops, and it's hard to explain, but when you use a stereo loop, you need specific cables to come out of it that kind of like splits, because the input kind of splits out to both sides of the stereo, and the send splits out to 2 sides, and the return comes back to 2 sides. So anyway, I put that tuner in there because there's no like dedicated tuner out on this thing, since it has one built in, which is, and if that tuner didn't mute the signal when it was on, then I would put it in one of the inserts, but I can't do that. And so, anyways, or rather, it doesn't mute the signal when it's on, is kind of the, or I don't know, I can't remember which one it is. But for some reason, I have it in there. And so this is a preset that basically just activates the loop that tuner is in, and then it mutes the outputs on the board so that you can't hear it when that loop's on. So that's something that shows up on every page. So there's that. That's the main page for navigating songs and whatnot. So there's a couple times where I'll be playing live, and whatever I've set up in the preset as far as like reverb or gain level or whatever, sometimes it'll feel a little bit different live to me than it did when I will play in the preset. Like maybe the band's just all really kicking or something, and I want something a little bit more. This yellow button here on every page is going to get me to the next page. So page 2 is a page that I call gain and verb, and basically this is an adjustment page. So whatever preset I'm in, I can come in here and I can adjust things on this page. So this collection of reds, these are all my gain stages that are available. And so if I want to change one of those, I can just cycle through my gain stages if I want to. And that'll change, it's the only thing it'll change about whatever preset I'm on. And so it's nice to be able to do that, because then I can easily go up a gain level if I want to and not have to do anything else, which is cool. These 2 blues will adjust my reverb up and down. This one here will activate the drone if I need to, which is redundant because I put that on the first page. And then this one actually changes presets. I'll never use this live. This is like a dry preset. So a lot of times when I'm first dialing things in, this is the preset it dials up right away, and it turns off all my drives and all my effects and just has a dry thing for dialing in amps and stuff. And then this purple one is another gain stage. It's a stack of the King of Tone. So this is really helpful. On all my other pages, this extra switch, the down one just pages back down and the up one doesn't do anything. So instead of changing banks, it just goes, so I can go back to the first page. So if I'm on this preset, I'm like, I want to go one gain up from where I am. I can gain up and then I can just go back to this page, and I can save it that way permanently if I want to, holding this yellow button, or I can just change presets and it'll forget anything I changed temporarily. So that's been a really, helpful page to change things on the fly. You can choose, I think you have up to 16 pages. So these 10 buttons can all perform different things on 16 pages. I'm using 5 right now, but these are the ones I use the most, or this adjustment page and the first page, obviously. The third page is just the standard loops page. And so this is all 10 of the loops that I have, and green is just showing me which loops are on in that preset. So you can turn on or off loops as you need to. This is a devices kind of page, and it is, the name is too long, so I need to change that. But this will just control MIDI on my 3 MIDI devices that I have set up. So this will bank up and down on my reverb, this on my delay, and this on my octave pedal there. And then that's the, mute tuner thing again, which shows up on most pages. And then this one will actually change set lists up and down, these blue ones. And so if I have, I think 4 different set lists depending on what event there is. And so if I'm rehearsing or whatever, then I can switch to another set list, and I can, it'll load all those presets on page 1 instead, which is cool. And then the last page is just switches, which is a common page that they set up for you right away. You can turn on or off the outputs. You can turn on or off the buffers. There's 3 buffers in the thing. You can, what's this one do? There's 4 function switches. You can plug in 4 other different things to the Mastermind that you can control from here. The one I have plugged in is like a junction box that will toggle this thing from, like the whole signal runs out of the Mastermind and into a little junction box that's like a mono stereo thing. And I set this function to toggle that box. And so when it's on like that, then the whole thing is outputting mono. It's like a stereo sum box, and so it can sum everything to mono. And if I turn it off, it leaves it in stereo like it is most of the time. And then it cycles back to page 1. So anyway, like I said, on the subsequent pages, my other thing just pages back down 1 if I want to. On the first page, this switch goes up and down through my songs that are in the set. And that's pretty much it. I'm sure I probably left something out, but we're 13 minutes deep, so I don't want to go too much further. So anyway, just holler in the questions if you have comments. Holler in the comments if you have questions about something, or if you see another way to do something other than how I'm doing it, then holler at your boy and let him know so I can fix it. I know people are using Mastermind all kinds of crazy different ways. So anyway, I'll link to RJM's website. This thing has been a game changer for me. I like small boards, and I had to make a big one just to make room for this, or bigger just to make room for this thing, because I love it. It's awesome live. So anyways, if you don't mind a little programming, it's solid. So that's it. If you want to spend, between 5 and 14 minutes with some more gear, you can subscribe if you'd like. I'll warn all the trolls that this one's only talking. And that'll be that. So, see ya.